Just let me know when you see it. Oh, never
I
mind.
will in
I
a
can see it
second.
too. It's live.
You said, yeah, I see it. I got it. I got it. All right. I'm putting it in the chat.
All
Do,
right.
do, do, do.
And then I'll start the recording on my end once you're ready.
All right.
All right. 5 seconds.
I'm putting it up right now.
Okay. What's up, NDL? It is Christmas Eve for most of us. The draft is less than 24 hours away, and we are ready to embark on a new journey. It feels like it's been a long time since we've had some meaningful games. We just had the championship game, but man, a lot of us, I know, 'cause I didn't make a bowl game, have been waiting a long time to get some action in, and we're getting close to gearing up for another season. So I am Sammy33, one of your hosts. My co-host, Mr. Vic. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. How's everybody doing on this Christmas Eve of the NDL? Draft season is upon us.
Always exciting times. A lot of change, a lot of excitement for new people, just new people that are coming to the league for the first time, and just especially the newer coaches that this is their second season, so this is their first experience of the draft, and all that is going to entail. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing who everyone picks, why they picked who they picked. I'm hoping we get a little more insight into that, and I'm just really excited. What can I say? I'm just really excited.
With, with the nonstop coverage that we're gonna bring them, we definitely gonna get some explanations on why that this coach picked this team and for what reasons. It's a lot of movement going around. Not too many teams being kept this cycle. So it's gonna be exciting to see who goes where.
Oh yeah. Well, before we start talking about the draft, there's one thing that we didn't get to talk about on our last episode, and I forgot because we got talking. It was our picks for the championship game. So we don't have to go back to the picks, but we can talk about the title game. Yeah, it's not G5 related, I know. But man, that was a really exciting game to watch. And you want to talk about coming down to the last second, maybe the last foot, almost going out of bounds on the kick return, but being able to run out the clock and get the touchdown as D Kennedy, and he gets the win. Crazy game from start to finish. Did you get to
Crazy
watch it
game.
all?
Yes. Oh yes. Watched it from start to finish. Crazy game. Had the turnovers in the first quarter, first couple drives. It was like 80 total yards with 14 total points. Uh, the back and forth, the offensive showcase after that until the stalemate of the fourth quarter. Uh, then the back and forth in the last 3 minutes, ending with that magnificent kick return. We all, I don't know how a coach like Jiggy made that mistake, but he did, and it cost him. It cost him a title.
Man, he's definitely gonna be coming back with a vengeance for season 34. But man, uh, that's a that's a tough one, and it's also one of those things too that we were impacted with that because midway through the season, I think it might have been block 5. They had an update and they gave a boost to blocking in the return game. I got to find out right away because I was playing VT. I'm like, wow, a kick and a punt return, great blocking, and
Yeah, they
it
did.
it
They
it
did.
definitely was very helpful in this game.
And when you have the best player back there, best player in the game back there, returning a kick, only magic can happen, and he got the chance to return it, and magic definitely did happen. We was all telling him to squib it or kick it out of bounds and take the penalty, but he had a brain fart and he kicked it to him, and the rest was history.
As far as I can remember, someone probably can correct me, a vet that may have better memory than me, but we've had some exciting championship games coming back. This probably ranks for me, I would say top two for a finish for a title game. I'm giving myself the leeway of one older game that I can't remember. But then
Oh,
again, we
I was
couldn't watch it
okay,
either. So
okay. I was just about to say this got to be the greatest title game ever. Got to
could
be with the
it's
greatest
definitely
finish.
the greatest that we've watched. I can say that 100%.
Okay, gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
back in the day before we had streaming, all you could do is read the recaps, man. You talk about waiting for that score to update, or you're sitting on your PS2 and just looking like, hey, I need you on my friends list so I can keep tabs on the score of the game. No context.
Oh
You're just looking at the
man,
score. So
y'all
it's
didn't have
exciting.
a group. Y'all didn't have a party chat going with that with those two in there just to be like, oh,
Not back
no
then.
grief.
Like it was just
Oh.
everyone is just on the message board just waiting. Who is gonna like waiting for that email that the score was updated on League Edge. That was the life back then. But shout outs to both of them for a amazing season, a great game to finish with, and that leads us into season 34.
Season 34.
So before we actually start talking about the draft, I wanted to give a little rundown to some of the newer coaches. Whether you're in here for the first time, like this is your first season, so you're coming into the draft, or you just finished your first season and are going through the draft process. So we want to explain how you got to where you got to, and then from there we'll go a little bit further into what we're looking at for the draft for this season. So everyone has the coach contract that you get assigned or sign at the beginning of the season, and it's broken down into three sections. You got participation, coach reports, and season success. Think of it as a college course. They have different weights. 40% is to participation, 40% for coach reports, 20% for season success. So the first part, participation, very easy points to get. It's a layup. It's the easiest points you'll get in the league. Vote in the polls, enter your stats, submit your coach report. That's it. You do those things, you don't miss one, 40 points right off the rip. But if you do miss something, or maybe two something, doing recaps, five recaps will make up for a missed poll or a missed stat entry. So keep that in mind. If you do miss something, life gets busy, it happens. A couple of recaps can take care of that. Just you don't even have to do anything super fancy. YouTube highlight video if you want to, a long thought out written recap or typed recap, an interview, however you want to do it. It's easy points, but I do have to add in they are not bonus points. So the max you can get is 40%. So even if you're doing your recaps and you do everything else, you don't get anything extra. It just can make up for something that's second
My
part.
thing with
Oh, go ahead.
oh, go ahead, go ahead. My
No,
thing with participation. My thing with participation is I'm kind of like OCD. So my thing with participation is immediately after a game. That's how I learned how to do like repetition. I feel like repetition and work ethic with that particular thing goes a long way because if you remember to do it, then you're gonna do it every time. And for me, I do it after every single game. I don't do the coach report after every single game because I am going to remember that, and I've also learned from like wise people because I haven't uh gave like just a critically bad score or anything like that to any coach so far, but I learned right away that you should take a day or two to do the coach report But as far as stats and stuff like that, I do that right away. I do that right away, right after the game. I'll do the stats and do the team stats and the player stats and everything like that, and put in the score and stuff like that. So I feel like if everybody were to try to do it, because I see some people they do it, but then they do it like way after, or they say they're gonna do it way after and then don't actually get around or forget to do it. My thing is to do it right after. While it's fresh on your mind, do the stats and recap or the team stats or anything like that, update the score right then and there. So you can get credit for it.
Now, I'll add two things to that. One, the stats are really easy because there's a couple ways you can go about it. We're all supposed to stream our games. Scroll through the stats at the end of the game if you don't have the time to do it right away, and then you can go look back at your stream. Just pause it and enter the stats, do it that way. You can take screenshots on your system. You can take screenshots on if you, or like me, you can take screenshots on the computer and then get back to it, or use your phone. Like it's super simple. Like it's just easy points. And it leads into my second point. It's not even so much that it's easy points because they are. It adds to the it adds to the league. You have awards that are being given out. You have awards that are being given out within conferences, players of the week for your commissioners, the season awards, the polls. It's giving the media stuff to work with in order to provide you guys content. The more that you participate and add to the league, the more that the media team can give back to you in terms of content to consume. So think of it that way. You're getting your 40 points if you do everything, but you're adding to the experience of the league for everybody by doing your part. If everyone does their share, it makes it so much easier for the media team to give you good content to consume throughout the week.
I definitely agree with that statement.
And homie adds something too. It's like before the with your stream, make sure that you have it set to archives because if it's not set to archive, then it's gonna be gone. It's gonna delete. Like once the stream is over, it's gone. So if you can set that, I should know because I'm a Twitcher, but I don't know exactly where the setting is off the top of my head, but you can set it to archive. It should hold up for 2 weeks. Unless you're Twitch Turbo, it will hold up for 60 days. But I'm just 2 weeks should be good enough for everybody. Just put them in at some point throughout the next couple of days and you should be good. So participation easy. Now the coach report. This is also 40% of your grade. So ideally, you would receive 12 coach reports because you would receive one from every opponent. Again, this is what everyone doing their share, doing what they're supposed to do participation wise. Your highest score gets dropped, your lowest score gets dropped. And think of it as having 10 quizzes, they equal 40% of your grade. So I can speak to this a little bit. I do not put in my coach reports, and I'll be honest, I have not given anyone less than a five in anything since we've been back. So you can either say I'm a really lenient grader or I'm a very fortunate coach because I haven't run into anything crazy. But I would suggest two things going forward with coach reports. You don't have to do them, it's just a suggestion. One, sleep on it. Some of these games get intense. We're all competitive. You lose. Things sometimes can get colored differently in a loss versus a win. Take a night, maybe take 2 nights sleep on it. You can go back and look at the game. Just make sure what you feel is there is there. Two, talk to your opponent after the game. Some people during the game might be a little bit more difficult. You have different personalities. I understand. But just having a conversation after the game could change someone's perception of something. I have had that happen where I've talked to a couple people after the game and they felt that I may have done something or I'm like, man, I saw this and saw that, but then you get the context, you get the explanation. You're like, I can see why you did that in this, with this play, or why you made this decision. I can give you context for why I did what I did. That could have a drastic impact on your coach report score. Just communication. Communication always solves a lot of things. Just being able to get your thought out there. Sometimes there may be an issue, just talk through it. It's solved. It's reflected in your coach score. Would you like to add anything to that?
You perfectly said everything that I could have said as well. Definitely wait a day or two to do your coach reports because, just in case it's a highly contested game or something didn't go your way, um, you want to cool off and have a little cool off period and everything like that. And I've said this for 2 seasons now. Communication is the key to life. Remember that throughout your whole life, communication is key. And that's no different in the NDL. Communication is key. Talk to people, talk to your opponents, talk in the conference chat, talk, in the DMs to certain people that may not be in your conference. They may be a future opponent, they may not be. Interact with people, always communicate, just so or you can get a gist of if you do play that somebody and they do a certain thing that you may not like, you already know why because you already communicate with them why they may have tried such a thing. And it'll be easier for you once you go ahead and fill out that coach's score. Like you said, me, I haven't had to give anybody ones or twos or anything like that. Couple fours here and there, but um, I've been mostly generous enough to have played genuine coaches, and everything has went fine in our game. So that's all I got to add to it. You pretty much summed it up with the coach reports, and make sure you get those done too. Like always, have a reminder to yourself to get that done. Because if you taking our advice and you take a day or two, always go back and remember uh, to go ahead and put in that coach report. Something that I do is I leave a tab on my phone with the website. It's like it, it's a tab in Safari that is the NDL website. So I always know, hey, if I go on Safari or go on the internet, that tab is still there. I can just go back to it and be like, hey, oh, I need to do my coach report. Go ahead and do the coach report. So I always leave a tab open for the league. So I make sure just in case I have to do something, that's my reminder to do it.
Fair enough. All right. The last part, which is the fun part, because it can have so much variety and it can be impactful. Let me tell you, I can speak for certainty on this one. This past season, you have the season success. So it is 20% of your grade, but there are a lot of factors into how you get your points here. So it's scaled or it's graded on a scale of 0 to 100. 40% is your win goal, 30% are your conference goals, 30% your rivalry game or games. So whatever your win goal is at the beginning of the season, if you meet that, it's either pass or fail. You either hit it or you don't. That's 40% of your season success. If you want to do the math, that's 8 points of your coach score. Conference goals, I want to say everyone has two. I don't have the thing up in front of me to confirm that, but I'm assuming everyone has two. You hit both of those goals, that's 6 total points. So basically, they're valued at 3 points apiece. The rivalry games are the interesting one because some teams have one, you can have as many as four. Those 30 points are divided across how many games you have to play. So if you only have one rivalry game, 30 points. ride all on that one game. Versus if you have three, it's 10 points per game. Before I get into the bonus, would you like to add anything to that bit?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Some some 20% are not like others. Make sure you go over your conference goals. Make sure you know them. Make sure you know if you have a one rival or four rivals. Um, the one rival, if you have one rival like I technically do, it's a lot riding on the line. I can tell you that. It's a thing between maybe a top 10 pick and a top 30 pick if you win or lose that game. So it could be a lot riding on that season's success. It may have the smallest portion of the three totals, but it's a lot riding on it.
All right. Then there's the other portion of this too, the bonus point. So there's one distinction that I feel that I have to make clear because it gets asked every season, especially for new people. Season success bonus points only apply to season success. So let me give you an example. If you earn 10 points worth of bonus points in season success, that's giving you 10 additional points to your season success score, not for your overall coach contract. So some people like, oh, I did this, I did X, Y, and Z. I got an additional, 10 points. So now I did everything. I got a score of 100. So that gives me a coach score of 110. No, it doesn't. It gives you a coach score of 102. 10% of the 20 points is 2 points. So that gets talked about all the time. I feel like at least once a season someone asked that, except for this season. Surprisingly, no one asked that. That's what it counts towards, but it can have a huge impact because you look at if you only have one rivalry game, you lose that game, that's 6 points that is not available to you in your overall coach score. So you could try to make it up via bonus points, but if you have an amazing season, pull off some rank wins, some road wins, you could put together a lot of points there, win a bowl game, just the sky potentially could be the limit. You could earn some bonus points. That difference could make up for something that maybe you lacked in another area, or that could put you over 100 points and that puts you to a higher draft spot. It is possible to get over 100 points.
Yes, it is. Some games are more important than others. Like we're that's what we're saying. Some games are more important than others. Every game is important, but some games, as the SEC would say, just means more.
Yeah, 100%. So there's two other things to factor into. We can attest to this. Obviously, we're part of the media team. So there's raw bonus points handed out at the end of the season. Admins, people that contribute to the NDL. So that's not just being an official NDL media member. That could be doing recruiting. That could be doing updates on the social pages for the league. Lots of things. I don't really know what the limit would be on that in terms of what you can do to help the league, but that'd be something to talk to the admins about. Admins, of course, and conference commissioners. So they get a raw bonus score at the end of the season. And then the last thing to keep in mind is the bank. So if you have a team for more than one season, you're able to build a bank. It caps out at 5 points. So if you need a 85 to keep your team and you score a 90, that means you bank 5 bonus points. The most bonus points you can ever have in the bank is 5. So what that does, it does not impact your draft position. It solely impacts your ability to keep the team. So if you have a down season, I will use myself as an example. So last season with Florida State, I filled up my bank. I had a high score. This season, I did not. But because my bank is full, I had the option of being able to stay because my bank covered the points that I wasn't able to cover. Basically, I did not get any season success points at all. I failed every goal, but my bonus points were able to make up some, and the bank would have been able to make up the rest. Thus, if I wanted to keep Florida State, I would have been able to because of the bank. But keep in mind, two things. One, whatever the overall rating is +5. So Florida State is an 82. I would have needed to score an 87 to keep them. The bank covered that. Two, just lost my train of thought, of course. I'm not going to remember now. Great.
Oh no.
I can't
You
remember what I was going to say.
oh no. I'm going into a situation where
Oh, boy.
I'm about to have bank points because I kept my team. So I'm going to be next season, no matter how it goes, I'm going to be in the same position that you were in this season.
Yeah, it's just kind of nice because we're called the NCAA Dynasty League, Dynasty teams staying and, staying where they're at. So it's a nice little perk to help encourage people to stay. You don't have to. You can be like me and be a mercenary for the most part. Your experience is however you want it to be, but if you do want to stay, there is that little perk there to give you a little bit of encouragement, knowing that you have that you can fall back on. That's what it was going to be. It only lasts for one season. That's what it was. So if you don't meet your win goal, that's the new change going into this year's game cycle. If you don't meet your win goal and you use the bank, that bank is empty and you got to start from scratch, basically kind of replicating your real life. You can have a bad season, but you can't just, kind of coast along and
You can't
perform.
lose to UCLA.
Fair enough.
That was a James Franklin joke.
Yeah, fair enough. Ah, yeah.
You can't lose 42-18. That's a Brian Kelly joke.
And now I can use myself. I lost all three of my rivalry games and went 4-8. You think Florida State's going to keep me after doing that another season? Probably not. They're going to look to part ways. So it is cool. It
I
has
don't,
some
I don't
realism
know. I
and
don't
some
know. We
excitement.
kept Norvell.
Oh, I'm a Nebraska fan. I won't speak on that. I can't speak on that. But
At least you're a
overall,
bold level boy at this point.
it feels nice. Not gonna lie. Now
It
we just
does.
need to get a
It
winning
does.
season. Um,
True.
but the last part of the draft is so you either stay or enter. If you have enough points, bank or not, you can stay. If you do not have enough points, you're quote fired and you're moved to day two of the draft. So day one is for anyone that was able to keep their team and opted not to. Day two is for anyone that was not able to keep their team under any circumstance or is new to the league. The draft is done over one sitting because we're going back to doing the hard draft. So it's done over one day, but that is the delineating line. So everyone that finished day one, their scores are sorted top to bottom. That's the first part of the draft order. Day two, the same top to bottom. And then I saw Nidler post earlier, all the new people that are filling up spots are randomized. That's how that last part of the draft goes. So that's how you get to the draft order. Now, with that said, we can actually talk about the draft. Just wanted to give an understanding for people that are new to the league to see how you get to your score, what impacts your score, and how the league comes up with the draft order. So just so you have some context for what you're walking into. Now, the fun part, talking about the draft. Obviously, we're the outliers, so we're going to be a little more G5 heavy because that's our thing. And looking at the teams kept, there were 33 teams kept. 14 of them, if you want to get technical, it's 11, but we're including UConn and the Pac 2. because we want them to have a home as well. So 14 teams
Shout,
were kept.
shout out to Doc, Tim, and Dave.
Man, Dave has it nice that have well basically all three of them do because for the most part they have a very flexible schedule. That's kind of a nice perk to have.
Yes,
But of the 14 teams that stayed, three of them were conference champions. So we're just going to do a quick rundown of the teams that stayed. In the AAC, you have Memphis with Jokers, the reigning no, one time, they lost the jumper, AAC champ. North Texas, with Chewbacca, Navy, Coach Ice. Conference USA, I guess no one liked anyone in that conference because everyone just bailed,
it's a turnover type of conference.
sadly. Um, the Indy Pac 2 we already mentioned, UConn and Washington and Oregon State. Washington State, Oregon State stayed. The MAC, only two. One obviously expected, Chip with Central Michigan and Toledo. I believe that is football Kelly.
That is,
It is. Okay.
that
And
is.
then the Sun Belt, only one stayed. And you were happy to see him stay because you mentioned that when
Yes,
we were going over the
the
bowls.
most intriguing team to stay and the most intriguing coach, and that is Coach Brady Sr. at App State. I love to see it. He is a early candidate for me. Already, I'm marking it down before the draft. He is a early candidate to represent the G5 next season in the CFP. I'm saying it right now.
I can't argue with that two-headed running attack. Man, that is insane. And now another year under his belt. That could only mean bad
His
things for the rest of the Sun Belt, I'm sure.
The ground and pound is strong.
And then the last conference, the Mountain West, a little bit surprising. This is going to lead into our first real question here. You got Boise State staying IROC, reigning back-to-back champ. SDSU, Big Z stays, Black Rain stays at UNLV. Che Pono, Jeff Daddy staying at Hawaii, and Buckeye 76 staying with Utah State. So only five teams staying in the Mountain West. So Vic, I'm going to pose to you a question. Are
It's
you
not the
surprised?
retirement committee anymore. It's not the retirement committee anymore.
Yeah, you already see where I'm going with the question.
Yes.
Does this surprise you to see so many teams available in the Mountain West?
Yes, because I thought it was such a tight knit group of guys, and now everybody's trying to spread their wings and go other places. When that was the retirement committee right there, that was the retirement home of the NDL. That's a whole joke, insider joke. If you know, you know. But it was such great to be honest. It was such great commodity between those guys. They had a lot of fun in there for the last 2 or 3 seasons. I always go back to it started with us. We was a part of the Mountain West camaraderie back in season 30. We both was in that conference for that season, and the camaraderie was there, and it was very strong, and it continued throughout the whole entire process. And I hope it continues with the five that did stay. Shout out to those five, and maybe some of those coaches come back, depending on who drafts who and where their draft position is currently at. Hopefully, they get to draft another Mountain West team or possibly the same Mountain West team. Who knows? But it was definitely great while it lasted.
Yeah, it
What
makes me
about you?
think of the
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
it makes me think of the Roy Williams meme where he's going in the locker room, with his players and everyone waiting to celebrate about
Yeah,
some of those coaches maybe coming back. Like, hey, I just want to see what's out there. If I don't like what's out there, I know I have a place that I'm comfortable coming back to that I'll be welcome to. So we'll see. I am surprised though, because I feel like, man, it felt like the last couple of seasons where it was almost like
It was
high.
basically the entire
It
conference
was like
stage. Yeah,
VIP for that
yeah,
one or two spots were
spots.
available
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
get in the conference. Felt like
yeah.
you had the guy like, hey, no, you don't qualify for this, not letting you in the not letting you in the club. So
Yeah,
it'll be
that's
interesting to
basically what
see.
it was. That basically is what it was.
Well, then just talking about surprises of the coaches that stayed, are you surprised by anyone that kept their team? Not necessarily Mountain West, but in general, are you surprised by anyone that did stay?
Yeah, football Kelly at Toledo. I was surprised that he stayed. I thought he was gonna have. He did have a good season. The whole MAC had a good season. We talked about that in previous pods. So I thought he was gonna make the jump. But I guess he didn't like where he was positioned, and he looked at the team and looked at the turnover in the whole league and thought otherwise, and thought it was best for him to stay. So good for him.
Kind of nice because if I'm recalling correctly, Chip was the only one that stayed from the MAC last season. So he has
That is
a
correct.
partner in
That is
crime this
correct.
time. Like he's just sitting there lonely, but he's got someone else on the swing next to him this season. So they're not starting from scratch, or he's not starting from scratch, I should say. For me, it's App State. I was surprised. Like I'm not disappointed by it at all, but I was just surprised. I thought with the season that he had and the potential draft pick that he could have had, that he might have said, "Hey, you know what? Let me
Nah,
go up there and see what's available. I at the very least, I know that I could fall back and take them. Let me jump up and see if I can go into a Power Four conference and replicate the success."
nah, let me take them bank points and shove it. I'm trying to make history. I loved that he stayed. I'm trying to get in the CFP. That's what I'm trying to do. I love that he did that. I'm trying to build a legacy here, and I'm not leaving till the legacy is complete. And being in the CFP, and possibly, we talked about this last pod, depending on the matchup, he is an intriguing matchup because that run game is so strong and it's so tough to beat no matter who you are. It is so tough to beat that he will definitely have a chance to have an upset. I know I'm saying a lot. I know I'm saying a lot. And I know that the season hasn't started yet, but I just have so much faith and what he has going on with that program that I feel like he's going to get the job done.
Well, he'll definitely be on the radar from the start next season, 100%. So the next question that I pose to you, of the conferences, which one do you think is going to fill up the fastest?
The American,
And why
the
do you feel
American.
that way? Uh,
Uh just certain teams. Tulane is an intriguing team because I believe they got a boost from the recent update. Um, some of the teams that stayed are intriguing. South Florida is a team that's intriguing. UTSA is a team that is intriguing. They just beat Tulane, I believe, in real life yesterday. It's some intriguing teams. Temple is an intriguing team. It's definitely UAB. It's definitely a whole bunch of intriguing teams in that conference. So I definitely feel like it's gonna fill up fast. What about you?
I feel like I'm kind of cheating because they're almost half full already, but I think the Mountain West will fill up. You've got some respected vets in that conference already, but I do think at least one or two will end up going back. So it makes it a little bit easier. There are still some solid teams out there. A lot of them are going to be middle of the pack. There's not like one this real bad team because even the teams at the bottom of the Mountain West have some sneaky talent in certain positions that can be helpful to build an offense around. I think that one probably ends up filling up the fastest. Again, I feel like that's cheating because they're already halfway full.
Like I said, I just feel like the American has the most intriguing teams. Like East Carolina is in there. I just feel like those teams have a lot of potential. Charlotte, Rice, it's a lot of potential in that conference. So uh, I feel like that one's going to fill up the fastest.
It'll be a fun conference for sure because the last couple of seasons we've seen some pretty interesting matchups, some really good ones.
Definitely, definitely.
So next question I'll ask you then. Which conference do you think has the most to gain going into the next season? Frame that however you would like.
Has the most to gain. Hmm. That's a that's intriguing. I'm going to say since I've already hyped him up past hyptivity, I'm going to say the Sun Belt because, like I said, they have the one potential team and the one person that stayed to represent the CFP. It has represented the CFP in the past, but I feel real strong about this candidate, and I feel like that conference has the most to gain.
Okay. Well, I'm going to take a little bit of an easier road here and say Conference USA. They solely have the most to gain because they have no one there, so they get to walk in with a clean slate.
It's a
And
clean slate.
there's no one there. There's no expectations. There are some solid teams in that conference. I know Liberty has the best rated team in the conference, but there are some other teams in there that are sneaky good.
That's a lot of expectations with that Liberty job. It's a lot of expectations with that.
Yeah, kind of
It's a lot.
kind of scary.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary proposition. What I want to see, since we do have that, and I propose that to you and some of the other vets. It's another vet in here. My NDL father is in here. I propose that all the vets go into Conference USA and battle it out.
Oh, well, we'll have to see. It's certainly a
Since
possibility
it's a
for sure.
clean slate, since it's a clean slate, nobody is staying in that conference. You can pick the litter. Like I don't know who would be the first coach to do it, but you will have the pick of the litter. So you can pick Liberty since they have the best team uh ratings wise in the conference. Or you can pick I think in real life it's Western Kentucky has the conference lead right now. Let me look. It's not gonna take long. Um, as it takes a little longer than I thought. Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State actually. West Kentucky is third in the standings, but Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State. I never thought I would say Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State have the lead in real life, so potentially boost coming, if not already have been boosted by this last roster update, but potentially another roster update coming with boosted up stats for those two teams. You could pick those two teams. You have the pick of the litter of the whole conference. I say all the vets go in that conference and battle it out.
Yeah, then we could see maybe a potential in season, well, maybe not in season, but an off season tournament, perhaps. A battle of the conferences, maybe that makes a return. Take on the Mountain
Oh,
West
I
Vets
hope
versus them.
Andy. Let's get on that, Andy. Let's get on that.
Could be pretty
Let's
fun.
get on that, Andy.
So then that's going to lead, since you bring up Liberty, I'm just going to go ahead and just take the bull by the horns on this one because the next question was going to be which 2 to 3 programs do you think may take the biggest step back? I feel bad in saying this because Liberty definitely is one of the like they are clearly in terms of ratings the best team in the conference, but the expectations are
But
high.
I wouldn't say it's a step back because the previous coach, and shout out to him, he did not win that many games. So it wouldn't necessarily be a step back from the previous season,
For
NDL wise.
for the previous season, yes, but as a whole, I think they're a program that is going to struggle on this game cycle. So in terms of the talent, it's a step back. I feel like whoever gets that
Yeah.
job, there's a lot of pressure to perform well. And even though they're the best team, they're not significantly better than the other teams in that conference. So I feel like that is kind of a trap job.
So you saying the expectations versus the reality means it's going to be a step back for the program.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. For
Gotcha.
Liberty, I say that. I think the obvious step back, which you can probably agree on, is Missouri State
Yes.
because they went 13-1. I good luck following that. Just bottom line, just good luck following that. So you went to the CFB. I think that I just don't feel very confident that that's going to happen again. And then the other one that I feel is going to be a step back, I think it's going to be Western Michigan for a couple of reasons.
Mm.
So you have
Mm.
Metro D who won the conference championship. So you already have that as an expectation. They took Boise, who is one of the G5 powers, to the last, literally the last second in a loss. And you're going to have Chip, who is the only vet in the, well, not the only vet in the conference, but he's like the vet of all vets because he knows that team very well. So whoever walks into that situation is going to have to learn their team, learn it quickly, and they are one of the lower rated teams in terms of talent overall in the conference. And then you have Darth Vader sitting back there looking over your shoulder, just watching your every move, waiting for you. So I feel like that potentially is going to be a step back in success as well. So those are the teams I have circled.
I have quite a few teams. I have more than three actually.
Oh,
That's going to take a step back from the previous season. Missouri State is one. Akron is two. Good luck being ranked with Akron
mm,
next, coach. Good luck with that. Eastern Michigan, same. Uh, Coastal Carolina, same. And one more. One more. I would say good luck to the Middle Tennessee coach as well. Good luck winning 10 games there.
yeah, those
All
are going to
those
be
all
difficult to
those
replicate.
programs won all those programs won 10 or more games last season. All those programs got ranked last season. It's gonna take a tough effort to repeat that same effort in season 34.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy at all, and that's the fun because a lot of people are
It's the fun.
going to go into a new situation, different expectations, maybe their own, maybe from previous season success, or maybe low expectations because the lack of success with a chance to kind of put their imprint on that program. So I have a question for you. We can both speak to this because we have both had seasons where we've been in the G5, multiple. When you look for a G5 team, how do you go about looking for them? What do you prioritize?
I what I look for is the best fit for me. What fits my style of play? What fits my style of play on defense? Excuse me, and what fits my style of play on offense? If a certain team fits a style, then I'm going to play with them and see if they matches what I think in my head. If that team doesn't match what I think about in my head, then I move on to the next. But if it does, the first game I play it again and then play it again just to make sure I'm right with that assessment and then move on from there. They have to fit a certain criteria. Um, don't know who picked Iowa State in that mock draft. Oh Jesus, no. Uh, I am a person that likes speed. For those who want to do a mock draft and put my name in it ever again, I like speed all around. Speed. Iowa State has none. Um, that's the type of team I like. I like speed in a lot of the defensive positions. I like speed more on defense than I do on offense. I feel like you can kind of be creative on offense, but I love speed on both sides. I'm a speed guy. What about you?
Well, they do say speed kills. And it certainly helps because if you're going to pick a G5 team, one of the things that is harder to come by is speed. Speed can help make up for some things. If you have, like for example, if you have a good running back, if he's not fast, your offensive line's going to have to block better to create holes. If you have receivers that are slower, you're going to have guys that are able to run their routes maybe a little bit better in order to create separation. What speed really does, from my perspective, is it opens up the field and it puts pressure on the other team defensively to have to cover more area. And honestly, I say this as a zone guy because I love my zone and I run a lot of it. But if you don't have a fast defense, you're going to have to run a lot of zone by necessity because you're not going to go man to man where, a corner is going to be outmatched, for speed against receiver X or receiver Y. So it impacts what you're able to do on both sides of the ball. I think one thing that I would take into consideration is what are your plans for the following season? I've done it. I know other people have done it too. You'll sit there and take a survey of the landscape and say, hey, what is a good situation to go into where a team fits what I would like to do, but their expectations are low. And when I say expectations, I'm talking about a win goal and maybe conference goals. Could I walk into a situation like that, have a successful season, and parlay that coach score into a top pick in the next draft? So I think that is also something to look into as well, whether it's focusing on who the rival is or focusing on, hey, this team is at the bottom of the conference, but all they have to do is win two games in the conference, and the rival game is against a team that's of equal talent. Or maybe there's two or three rivalry games, so it's the points are spread across the board, a little more room for error. I think that's for me, I probably would prioritize situation a little more. And also, I will admit I am very lazy when it comes to playbooks. I make one playbook. I am not making drastic changes. I don't know how some of you have multiple playbooks that and then you tinker with it all throughout the game cycle. I'm making one. I'm not changing stuff too much. So I need a team that is going to let me still use that playbook. I do not want to have to make another one. It takes too long for me.
I'm changing mine up after tomorrow. I'm tinkering with mine after tomorrow. So I understand what you mean, and those things do come into in factor conference goals, win goals, and everything like that. Um, I do factor those in, but I feel like the on the field product kind of takes care of itself because if I can have confidence in that team and confidence I can do well with said team, then the rest is gonna take care of itself.
Yeah, NTX just said he made 3 books this week.
See,
That's
that's insane.
I'm like,
I just
man,
I
I'm
got I
trying to
just I
find time to
really
play to play
I
video games.
I really just have one and a bag up one because but the bag up one is similar to my main one. It just have little bits and pieces there. That's different. But I just tinker around with it. I just do different sets and change this out, change what works, change what doesn't.
Yeah, that's
That's
fair.
what I basically
Because
do.
I think one thing that I think the good analogy is that one toy that we used to all have when we were very, very little with the blocks and like, hey, here's a triangle, here's a circle, here's a square. Put the triangle where the triangle goes. Sometimes the triangle can fit into the square hole, but it's not supposed to. So trying to find a roster that reasonably matches what I guess you could say talent. You could also look at it maybe for others like myself. I'm more of a schematic person, so I just need a team that I can relatably run this scheme with this team. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm still able to run the majority of my playbook with the talent on this team. I'm okay with that. I don't need it to be a perfect match. I'm more of a scheme guy.
I'm a scheme guy too. I take what I have on my roster and scheme it up. Like my current roster right now, I take what I have and scheme it up, and I have the playbook I currently have. Like I said, I'm going to tinker with it, take out the bad, put in some different, see if it goes to good. If that goes to bad mid season, I'm gonna probably change that up as well. But that's all I do is take out the bad that I've previously ran and try to put in some more good to go along with the good that's already in there because my playbook is tailored to my roster and what I want to do with said roster. So if I want to run, if I want to pass, if I want to highlight this person, or if I want to highlight that person, I'm going to do certain things to highlight those particular players on my roster.
Yeah, definitely can relate to that. Oh, now G5. Really, there's a couple of ultimate questions. Could it be a spoiler? Maybe. We'll see if our predictions are right. I don't know which one to start with. I guess we'll just go with the one listed first. Which G5 team available do you think goes early that is not expected to?
That's not expected to.
Like you'd be one of those where it's like, what? Really?
Well, can't say Tulane. Um,
Yeah, Jake would be disappointed if so. Like, hey, I'm a good quarterback. Please come play for me.
nah, I believe they're gonna go early. And I don't believe that's a surprise
Yeah.
that they're gonna go early. A surprise team that may go early as G5. Huh. I
Well,
believe that. Yeah, I'm really thinking about this. I believe. huh, I believe USF goes early.
hmm, that's
I
an
believe USF goes early.
that's an interesting one.
Yeah. I believe USF goes pretty early. I'm going to say top 25.
Ooh, now that's definitely
Between
interesting.
between between 25 and 30.
All right.
I
Well,
don't have any insight. That's just a pure guess.
mine is a pure guess too. But I think given the overall team rating and where you may project them to go, I think Texas State is going to go high for a G5 team. Um, they've got five receivers on their roster with the speed over 90. Five. That's not. I'm literally looking at their roster right now. If anybody wants to boot up the game to check, two guys with 93 speed. They're small. They're more of the, slot receivers per se, but speed kills in the G5 because a lot of teams don't have it. They're like, I feel like most G5 teams lack speed somewhere on both sides of the ball. Five receivers, I would be terrified to play against that team because I feel like I would have to control a safety and I would not be able to bite on anything. And then just crossing routes become dangerous because if you give room to a receiver, being able to turn up the field in between zones, man, with bad safety play, that could be extremely dangerous. They are really fast. Not only do I think they'll be a fun team to watch in the conference under the hands of someone that's really, really creative offensively, but I just think they go higher in the draft than people may expect.
I believe you just gave 5 users a scrimmage to play with, a team to scrimmage with tonight. I believe you gave all the ammo they might need. It's somebody in the 40s or 30s. Like, I don't know what team. Let me check out the outliers. Oh, Sammy says Texas State. Let me try them out. Watch, watch. You just gave somebody the ammo. You really did.
Well, the thing is, really with the like every team, there's few teams that we could view as perfect or close to perfect. And when you really start to drill down into the G5 teams, there's always a compromise. You're taking something that you like and you're giving up something. Like there's no ideal team, I would say, once you get to middle of the pack. Maybe teams that fit you a little better than may fit someone else, but they're always lacking something. So it comes
You,
with the
you always
cost.
got to have a little lady luck on your side when you're drafted in the middle because, like you said, it's going to be a lower tier power four or a mid tier power G5. So you're gonna have to have a little lady luck during the season on your side as well.
Yes. So I will pose a reverse question to you. Of the G5 teams available, which team do you think, and I'm going to take one answer away from both of us because clearly we may feel that way, not name Liberty, because we already talked about them.
We did.
Outside of them, is there a G5 team that you think ranks well but will drop in the draft?
Inkswell that drops in the draft. Mm, Jacksonville State out of Conference USA. I feel like their rating is pretty good as a G5 team, but I feel like they're not gonna get picked until like 72 or something like that.
Okay, I could see that. I
What
have
about you?
I have two teams. One of them is Buffalo.
Buffalo.
Man, don't. Well, I'm not sure you didn't get to experience this. We missed the days, us older vets, of Trendon basically locking down Buffalo and oh man, those games against him and UConn every season, the trash talk would be great. Still, if anyone, someone has to pull this up. We need to get this like pinned on the live chat. One of the
Gotta get
greatest,
the archive.
one of the
Archive.
greatest threads ever in NDL. It's on the GOAT list too because there's a thing for that. We had the greatest threads on the old message boards, and one of them was when Dave pranked Trendon. You want to talk about like legit LOL. Man, that stuff has me laughing. I remember reading through that a couple weeks ago, and my God, just like rereading it again, it's funny every time. Like classic. I'll have to see if I can find it after and just pull it up just so we can look at it again, and I'll send it to you so you can see. I'll give you the
I
context
got you.
too. But Buffalo, they are the best team in the MAC, and I just feel even with them being the best team, I think they're going to go later than expected. You would think they're one of the first MAC teams off the board. I don't even think they're going to be one of the first three MAC teams off the board. One, the expectations, they have to win 7 conference games, so going 7-1 and play in the conference championship. Now, that play in the conference championship is difficult because there is no division. It's not, there aren't divisions like the Sun Belt. So you could fall out because you lost to team A and team D, and that ultimately could knock you out of that. The rivalry games, I think, in terms of team talent, are favorable, but the pressure of having to play in the conference championship game, and I would say if you poll the league right now, most people have Central Michigan taking up one of those spots, and rightfully so. So you're vying for one spot. Expectations and pressure, I think that could be a tough job to take. And the second
Man,
one for me, I'm just going to add in one more real quick.
oh, go ahead.
And man, I really feel like a jerk for saying this.
Uh oh.
I really feel like a jerk for saying this.
Here we go.
Like, I know you're not expected to take them high anyway, but taking one of the service schools is just a tough job because you are
Oh,
not
yeah.
going to be able to run any semblance of a
Jesus Christ.
conventional offense. And I will personally attest to that because when I was looking through teams, like I'm not trying to tell on myself on who I'm looking at, but I'm like, I might want to go to the Mountain West, or it'd be cool to take Army. Yeah. As someone that doesn't like to run an option style offense, I was miserable, miserable.
I'm
So
not running no option. I'm sorry. I'm not running no option. A lot of people have told me, hey, you run the ball great. I've been told I run the ball great. That's great. I can't run no option. That is not happening at all. Not running out. I commend those who do. I commend them. Shout out to them. It's just not for me.
and also I'd like to add quickly, to any vets in the league, we appreciate your service. It's nothing personal.
Nothing personal at all. Not at all.
All right, but how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good about the draft, man. We're gonna have the draft coverage. We're gonna have game day. Hopefully, we get BB and B in there. Mark, Jeff, Joke. Hopefully, y'all can mix in there too. We're gonna have some of the other media members in here that's gonna fill in and do picks, and then we're gonna close it out. I can't wait till we're gonna have them close it out. I want to have so much fun with it. I definitely do. We're closing it out. It's a lot of G5, so we can just have people on here and be like, well, why did you pick that? So you want to do so and so with such and such? Okay. What about this player here and that player there? I'm gonna love that so much. I cannot wait. And it's so much pressure off my back knowing that I'm not drafting at all. How are you feeling? Because usually we're on the opposite sides. Usually I'm drafted and you're not. But here we are. How do you feel?
I feel stressed. I'm not gonna lie to you, and not a bad stress, just like a comfortable stress. I'm not at the top of the draft, so I can't really, you know, comfortably say I want this team and know that no one ahead of me is taking them and take them.
Yeah,
Like, because I mean, I'll be honest. When I took Florida State, nobody was going to take them ahead of me, so I didn't have to worry about them. Apologize to the FSU fans behind me, but
me being one of them.
I like that's the team that I locked in on, and you don't necessarily have to ask everyone, but when you're people in front of you, you sometimes may kind of Like, hey, who are you looking at? Not because I want to tell on you and spread it out, but I just want to cross a team off the list if I know that you're looking at them and like, hey, you have this team as team A. Cool. Let me cross it off the list because I know I have to pay no attention. If they're on the board, either someone else is taking them or you're taking them. Makes your life easier. But when you're picking in the middle, it's difficult because you have a group of teams you're looking at. Do any of them get taken? Do you have to scramble to add? As coaches join conferences, like, hey, I want to play this coach, or man, I don't really want to play this coach. Um, just like, I don't know, for example, if Jiggy, for whatever reason, decided to go into a conference that I was interested in, if they're on the schedule, I'm sorry, like, Jiggy, you're cool. I enjoy watching you play. I am not trying to waste an hour of your time. I'll just do a solid and just go in a different conference. Not even that I'm scared. I value time. I value yours more than mine. I'm not gonna put you through that.
I'm just letting you know, Jiggy, you join the Big 12 and we play. I'm running inside zone 50 times. I'm not playing no games with you. Not at all. Not at all. Because I know how this is going to go. No, no, no. Not finna waste nobody time. Inside zone 50 times. Nope.
But to be
Not at all.
fair, I did. But to be fair, so I don't think I told you this. I would planning on him being an out of conference game next season if I had stayed at Florida State. It would have been an L. But
Ooh.
I'm just curious. Sometimes, like, it's a team that I felt
Ooh.
comfortable enough where I'm like, let's just put the cards on the table and see what happens. It'd be an interesting
Ooh.
experience. But with a G5 team, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I'm
I
gonna have
need
to be.
I
I'm
need
gonna
to
have to
feel
be a
comfortable.
top 10 pick to even try. To even try.
Yeah.
I
Eh,
I I I, I feel like, well, I can share this because I was stressed early in the week because I really didn't know what I was gonna do to begin the week, and then I played with teams and it felt good, but it just didn't have that same feeling. And one team felt close, and I'm gonna share that team in a second, but it just didn't have those vibes that I had when I began this game here with West Virginia. Like it just didn't feel the same. And it's just like, hey, I can build something with them. I can keep them. And it's just more and more as the days went on, it was just like, I need to keep them. I don't need to let them go. I need to keep them. But the two teams I was looking for that may be on people's radar in the top 30, I was thinking about Vandy and BYU.
hmm,
Now I do know BYU is a hot team and a hot known name in the NDL DMs. Trust me, I know. Somebody's gonna pick them high. They It's gonna be tough to beat them this season. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's gonna be tough to beat them. They can run the piss out the ball. Not gonna lie. And Vandy, especially with the boost now, if you're a person that wants to throw the ball 30, 35 times a game, Vandy ain't for you. No, don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Please don't do that. They are a run first team, and you will have a lot of success being a run first team at Vanderbilt.
see,
So
this
just
is where
remember that when taking, just remember that draftees when thinking about those two teams.
yeah, I'm stubborn. If I'm looking at Vandy's roster right now, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and make them a passing team. It's difficult in the SEC with the
Uh,
defenses, but I'm a stubborn person. I just like to
don't
make things
even think
difficult.
about it. 30 to 35 times with Diego Pavia? Are you serious? No. Run game all day. run game. Run the ball between the two running backs and the quarterback at least 25 to 30 times. It's definitely going to get you somewhere, especially in this game. The run game benefits you well in this game.
Uh, I wish I fully agree with you, but you got to pass some. I'm I was
You got to
four
pass some,
I was
yes.
four and
Yes,
eight,
you
and I
definitely have
felt
to.
like man, I was enjoying running the ball, but I went 4-8. So
Yeah, you definitely have to pass. I'm not saying you passing 10 times a game. No. 20, 20, maybe 25 attempts, depending on how the game goes is well. But for you to just have a legit chance in every game, get you a running scheme and run the ball 20 to 25 times and commit to the run 20 to 25 times.
fair enough. Well, guess we should probably wrap this up. People need to go back into doing research for their team, not naming any names.
Definitely.
But the draft starts. Let me double check so I can be accurate. I'm pretty sure it starts at noon Eastern, but let me just double check and look to make sure. Yes, it starts at noon Eastern. So you have 5 minutes if you're in the draft, 5 minute window for your selection. If you are not going to be present, Homie did a great job of adding a draft board function into the league website. You can go on there, you can add teams, you can slot them up and down. You need to slot them up and down because if not, you're going to be disappointed. I saw Nibbler's post about that. You need to make sure that you actually rank the teams where you would want them if you're not going to be there. If you miss your pick altogether, you're just going to be in limbo like the NFL. There's someone when we had the last hard draft, I can't remember who it was. They end up jumping in like 20 or 30 picks late to make their pick. So you'll be on technically on the clock, but you know, you didn't make your pick, so the draft is going to move on and you're just, second in line basically until you make your pick. It's going to be exciting times. Full coverage for the first time by the media team. So game day is going to be kicking us off. They'll be talking about the draft. It'd be really awesome if some of you that are going to be drafting could maybe make yourself available during the draft, whether it's hopping on camera to chat with whoever it's game day or the second or third crew that'll be following them, or even if you're just able to hop in Discord or just typing in chat just to give us some context. Make it a fun experience. It's the first time that the NEL will be doing this. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait. I have my alarm set for me. It'll be 10 a.m. when it starts, but I'll be up at 9. One, I'll have to do some research, but I just am going to be around all day, literally to do nothing but focus on the draft. That's my Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be my Saturday too. Looking at all the posts and submissions, and please, please don't be that guy when it comes to the draft. You know what that guy is. Don't be that guy.
Well, it's hard this year versus slow, so I think we can avoid that some.
Yeah, yeah, we're definitely gonna avoid it, but somebody's gonna try to be that guy, and let's not do that.
Yeah,
Let's
this is
just have everything run smooth and calm and fast and smooth, smooth.
yeah, it should be fun. Looking forward to it. Really excited to see who some coaches will go with. Really excited to just kind of see a lay of the land as we go through, 20 picks in, 40 picks in, 60, as teams are starting to populate with coaches, how conferences look, and man, definitely the most exciting time of the season. Everyone has hope, everyone's excited. You haven't had it sucked out of you yet by actually playing games that matter with your team. So if you're gonna be excited, this is definitely the time to be. I can't wait for tomorrow.
I can't wait neither. We see you guys tomorrow.